Hello students, welcome back to the biology classes. Dear students, in previous lecture we have studied about the structure of the flower and we also studied about the pollination. Dear students, in this lecture we are going to study about the fertilization and about the seed, about the fruits and what are their importance. So dear students, let's start our chapter. Dear students, as we already know that transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma is known as pollination. After pollination, we consider the when pollen grains fall on the stigma, they absorb water and sugar from the surface of the stigma and they grow or germinate and formation of pollen tube occurs. Dear students, these pollen tubes then enter through the stigma and then enter into the style, and after this style they enter into the ovary, and as we also know that in ovary ovules are present. We can see the structure here. This pollen tube enter into the ovule through micropyle end, and this pollen tube enter into the embryo sac of the ovule through one of the synergid. We also know that we have already know that in ovule embryo sac is present. In embryo sac two synergid, one egg, one polar nuclei and three antipodal cells are present. We have already discussed in the previous lecture. So dear students, this pollen tube enter into the embryo sac of the ovule through one of the synergid. Okay, we have already know that there are two synergid. So pollen tube enter in any one of the two synergid, and after the entry in this one of the synergid, it release the two male gametes. We already know that it has in a pollen grain there are two male gametes. Okay, so when this pollen tube enter into the synergid, it release its male gametes into the cytoplasm of the synergid. After that, the synergid degenerate and one male gamete moves towards the egg cell and fuse with it, and resulted in the formation of a diploid zygote, and other male gamete fuse with the polar nuclei and form primary endosperm nucleus, which form endosperm. So, and this type of fusion is known as double fertilization. Okay, and this double fertilization is a unique property of angiosperms. Dear students, remember one thing, that the movement of pollen tube, or we can say that the movement of male gametes through pollen tube into the embryo sac is also known as siphenogamy. Dear students, after this process, after the double fertilization, the zygote develop into the embryo, and the ovules mature to form seed. So dear students, remember one thing, seed is a ripened ovule, or we can say that the mature ovule. Okay, when we see the structure of a seed, it has outer seed coat which is known as testa, which is followed by the inner seed coat that is known as tegmen, and in this seed embryo is present, which is connected to the cotyledons. Okay, this embryo has a radicle and a plumule. Dear students, this radicle form root, whereas this plumule form shoot. Dear students, seeds are very important, and they are of two type. One are albuminous seed and second are non-albuminous seed. Dear students, albuminous seeds are mainly present in monocots, for example wheat, maize, barley. Okay, and it also present in some dicots also, that castor. Okay, And dear students, in albuminous seeds, actually, endosperm is not completely used during embryo development. Uh, Dear students, in dicot seeds, for example, pea, groundnuts, endosperm is completely used during the development of the embryo. So that's why in the dicot seeds like pea and groundnut, endosperm is not present. So that's why these seeds are known as non-albuminous seeds. So we can say that the seeds are of two type: albuminous seed and non-albuminous seed. In here in this diagram, you can see this diagram of a monocot seed. Okay, here in this monocot seed, single cotyledon is present, that is known as scutellum. Okay, and in this monocot seed, endosperm is present. So dear student, that's why this is known as albuminous seed. Okay, where it has plumule and a radicle. Plumule grow to form shoot, whereas the radicle form the root. The radicle is covered by the coleorhiza, whereas the plumule is covered by the coleoptile. Dear students, when we see the diagram of the dicot seed, it cannot have endosperm. Okay, it cannot have endosperm. It only has cotyledons. Okay, and a embryo in which radicle and plumule are present, which is covered by the testa and tegmen. So the seeds in which endosperm is not present, or we can say that the endosperm is used during the embryonic development, are known as non-albuminous seed. So mostly dicot seeds are non-albuminous, whereas the mostly monocot seeds are albuminous. But there are some exceptions. For example, castor is a dicot seed which has endosperm. So that's why it is known as albuminous seeds. Dear students, when the favorable conditions arise, these seeds germinate to form new plants. Okay, when these plants germinate and form a small plantlets, that is known as seedling. Okay, and we can see that when favorable conditions arise, the radicle grow to form root, and after that plumule grow to form shoot. So seed germination is the process through which seeds germinate to form new plants. Okay, and it occurs when favorable conditions are present. So dear students, seeds are very important for us and for nature, for the, or we can say that for the plants, because they help in pollination, they help in dispersal, they store food. Okay, also carry variations, or it also help in, we can also store them for our use, and they are the main basis for the agriculture practices. Dear students, pollination is the process through which plants pass unfavorable conditions. So pollination is the process through which organisms or plants pass unfavorable conditions. So seeds are very important. Seeds mainly help to pass unfavorable conditions. Okay, actually seeds are mainly present in the dormant food. Most of the time their water content is very less, 10 to 15%. Okay, they also help in dispersal, so that the plants can grow for wide range, for new habitats. Okay, they also store food, and they carry variations from one generation to the second generations. We also use them. Okay, mostly we store the grains. Okay, so if seeds are not there, what we are not able to store them. Okay, and so they are the main basis for the agriculture. Dear students, now we discuss about the fruits. Dear students, actually fruit are the ripened ovary. Okay, dear students, the wall of the ovary is known as pericarp. Dear students, this pericarp become fleshy and edible. Okay, and we can say that when this ovary become mature or ripened, so at that time this is known as fruits. Fruits are of different types. For example, apple, okay, strawberry, cashew. We categorize them into two types. One are true fruits and one are false fruits. Dear students, true fruits are those fruits which are developed completely, or we can say mainly from the ovary, whereas the false fruits are those fruits which uh, develop from other floral parts. For example, thalamus. Dear students, apple is a false fruit because it is developed from the thalamus. Strawberry is a false fruit. Cashew is a false fruit. Okay. Uh, Dear students, when we also give the example of some true fruits also. For example, mango. Mango is a true fruit. Okay. Dear students, there are another term, the parthenocarpic fruits. Dear students, sometimes the fruits develop without fertilization. Okay. In few species, fruit develop without fertilization. Such fruits are known as parthenocarpic fruit. We can say that actually these parthenocarpic fruits are mainly seedless fruit. You can see the some banana. Okay, actually banana is a parthenocarpic fruit because it is developed without fertilization. It cannot have seeds. Okay, parthenocarpy is the development of seedless fruits. We can see the diagram. Dear students, here the diagram of the apple. Apple is a false fruit because the part which we eat is mainly thalamus. Okay, true fruits are those fruits in which we eat ovary, or we can say that in which ovary is main part of that fruit. But in some fruits, other floral parts like thalamus is also edible. So that therefore the fruits in which thalamus or other floral parts are edible, they are known as false fruit. So here the apple is a false fruit. Okay, strawberry is also a false fruit because in strawberry we also eat thalamus. Okay, true fruits are those fruits in which ovary, or which are made up of ovary only. Dear students, fruits also have different significance. They are very important for us, okay, or plants, because seeds help in the protection of the seed. Actually, fruits help in the protection of the seed. Okay, they protect seed from mechanical injury, from insects, from unfavorable conditions. They also help in dispersion. Okay, dear students, they also provide food to the other animals. Okay, and dear students, they also actually the also provide nutrients when the seeds germinate, and they are also important to us because fruits are source of the food for us. They provide us proteins, oils, organic acid, vitamins, minerals, etc. So dear students, we can say that these fruits are very important to us. And dear students, in this lecture we have studied about the fertilization process, different type of seeds and fruits, what their significance. So I hope you understand. Thank you.